in that game between LSU and Ole Miss, there was a precursor. There was a lot of precursors to this game, but I'm going to go back 2 weeks ago, I think it was. They all start adding up once you get into this part of the season. When Brian Kelly sniped at a reporter after the Florida game for asking about the offense. Now, I got both sides of it. I got Brian's side in that you just won the game. Let's ask some questions, but we just beat a Florida team in the SEC. I know they're bad, but it's still the win of the conference. But it begged the question because even in the Clemson game, the offense hadn't been good. So you had a body of work where the offense hadn't been great. And then yesterday against Ole Miss, they had the one touchdown earlier as a tipped pass and a catch. But Paul, the offense is what's getting Brian Kelly and Ole Miss right now. And credit Lane Kiffin, we'll get that side in a minute. But LSU's offense is struggling. It is what it is.
Yeah, the Durham injury hurts too. But overall, it is just it's really tough to watch. And we saw it coming. The Clemson losses and the Florida losses, so 6 total, were telling you that the first game of the season was fraudulent. And it's the same offense. I mean, the defense was up against a powerful offense yesterday. And even though that game came down to it late, once Ole Miss got rolling in the second quarter, it really never felt that close to me.
Yeah, you never got the sense that LSU was going to put together this long, sustained drive. And I'm just stunned with Garrett Nussmeier coming back. LSU's always going to trot out receivers. You mentioned Cade Durham. He's out. That's the other thing we were talking about. How is it that LSU, you could throw a dart in the perimeter of Baton Rouge and find a 5-star running back? I'm just stunned there isn't one of those vintage LSU running backs on the roster that you can rely on.
Yeah, I think what Brian Kelly did was he loaded up on the defense because he knew he had to have it. I suppose knowing that Durham was there and a couple other guys, they felt comfortable. I think they also felt comfortable with what we were told was going to be the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and look what happened.
Where do you assess now LSU moving forward?
Yeah, I think they're in a really tough spot, Matt. I'm thinking through their schedule in my head, and they have to go to Alabama. They have Oklahoma. You may have to help me here, but I'm trying to think who else. I think they have Texas A&M.
Yeah, let me pull them up for you.
Yeah.
So now LSU, they have South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, at Alabama, Arkansas, Western Kentucky, at Oklahoma. And at that point, we believe that John Mateer will be back because that's towards the end of the season. And so they have a bye week going into South Carolina. They host South Carolina at Vandy. Texas A&M, they get it home, and then at Alabama November 8th. Then after that, Arkansas, West Kentucky, Oklahoma. So they have a stretch coming up that's going to define the season.
Yeah, I think clearly the Alabama game is going to perhaps be their Waterloo. A&M, Oklahoma. It just feels right now like that may be a lot. I mean, the good news for them is that it's only one loss. That's why the Clemson game was so critical. I always looked at that Ole Miss game, though, Matt, as being problematic for them. That was a game last year that they won in overtime. So I'm hesitant to write them off because of what the schedule says. But I would be bullheaded to act like they don't have serious problems offensively. When Durham, I don't know what Durham coming back will help, but he was there early on. Didn't help that much.
I would tell you this too. On the other side of it, first of all, we could sit here and make a case for 5 teams to win the SEC. I can't remember the last time you could look and there really wasn't a favorite. But Ole Miss has to be up there with them. Like Lane Kiffin has somehow, has somehow found this quarterback at a Ferris State who has taken the team, given it a dynamic. I don't know that they knew that they had. He should be the Heisman frontrunner right now. Like Ole Miss, with that defense, they're legitimate in this league.
Yeah, no, and that was the one thing I really wasn't sure we would see. Of course, think back to the Ole Miss narrative. Austin Simmons was going to be such a great quarterback, and Chambliss has come in and just turned people upside down. But listen, Lane Kiffin never disappoints. This was a big week for him with the East 60, and he delivered. And beating Lane Kiffin in Oxford has become nearly impossible.
Especially when you beat your daughter's boyfriend, like that's
yes.
Dad is always going to have the upper hand with the boyfriend. And now, whereas Ole Miss, we kind of like, well, they lost Jackson Dart, they lost some talent to the NFL. What do they have coming in? Right now they have the best story in college football. I'm sure they had Chambliss, and he looks really, really good. And again, you beat LSU. I want to pop up Ole Miss's schedule for a minute, because if you look at what they have coming and you start paving the way, like I thought Ole Miss was the most talented team in the SEC a year ago, and they did not make the playoff. And I thought that was a little bit disappointing based on what they have. But Paul, if you look at their schedule, they have a bye week. Then they go Washington State. Got that. Then they have 2 weeks where they go at Georgia, at Oklahoma. After that, Paul, South Carolina, the Citadel, Florida, Mississippi State.
Yeah. They're in great shape.
That's a schedule that you can path your way to some big things if everyone stays healthy.